Welcome back to another psychic experiment with Brock Forster, the honey badger. Once again, he has no idea what we're doing. Do you want to tell us what you know so far about this one?
Pretty much like every other one. You don't give me much. You just say, "Hey, can you do this at this time?" I know that you last time we did a book, and I think that this one you said that there might be a book, or that we would just kind of do some readings.
Okay, perfect. So my book just came out today, as we were just talking about. So there's literally no possible way that you have a copy of it yet because it does not. There's no way it got to you in the hours since it's been out. So you don't know what's on these pages or what pages they are. I have a couple of things written down. We're going from 13 to 213. That's like the bulk of the book. I
Oh, so that's the
texted you.
number. Yeah, okay.
Yep,
That's the
that's the
number that
number
you
I
had.
texted you.
Okay.
And you chose 13 and 88, and when you add them together, it's 101. So those are the how last time we did, like, the this plus that equals that. We're doing that with the numbers that you picked. Okay, so if you say a page and it ends up being a blank page, we just go to the following page
Okay.
because there are some blank pages, and then if we go to a page where there's a picture on it, we include the next page, so it's the picture plus the next page in that case. And
Okay.
then there's gonna be a final round of something that isn't necessarily the book, but it's the book that this paper came out of. Okay, so to start, pick a number 1, 2, or 3.
Two.
Okay, so after tarot. Okay. So it was either the unveiled tarot, the light seers, or the after tarot. Okay.
Okay.
So this is my book. I printed it out so it's big enough to kind of see on the screen. Um, all right. We're gonna start. You're gonna pick any number besides the numbers 13, 88, or 101.
72.
What you got?
So it's kind of like talking about like life being kind of frozen in place and being caught in like a stale loop of like repetitive mundans. And it's about receiving instructions from the universe on how to like get that out of that loop.
Okay. Cards first or page first?
Let's go with cards first.
A delay. The loop.
Wow, that card is
The
like,
high
oh.
priest. Okay. Yep. Finding your worth to get out of the loop.
You know what's hard
Exactly like
about
this.
this is it's like we look at the card the second you turn it, it's like we already know the meaning of the card, and so like what I just said, how it connects, and it's kind of hard.
Right.
Like other tarot readers definitely see it, but it's kind of hard for
Right.
like the other people. That's what's neat about the book. I love what you're doing. It's smart because now the book can go in and explain it.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, so for those who don't know, that's a good point. Frozen, this is literally a delay. This is like fast movement in reverse. Loop, this literally shows a loop, but it's about needing to complete a cycle. Repetitive, high priestess over the world is like your higher self is gonna show you clearly how to break out of this cycle by instructions, learning your worth. So literally to a T what you said. Okay, so page 72. Okay. Oh, top or bottom?
I don't know why I've seen Tom. So.
So it's with the law the law of divine oneness, everything is connected. This this law also brings compassion. When you realize that everyone is carrying their own burdens, their own mirrors, their own soul contracts, you stop needing to be right. You start wanting to understand. You see the pain behind the behavior, the wound behind the wall, the story behind the silence. In moments of deep connection, when you look into someone's eyes, when you stand in awe of nature, when you feel something greater, you're experiencing this law in action. It's the quiet knowing that we're not as separate as we seem. The law of divine oneness is not a concept to memorize, it's a truth you feel, a frequency you remember, a way of seeing that changes everything. So, yeah, that's
Do me a
quite
favor. Read the middle too.
the law of divine oneness and how it shows up in the descension process, so on the way down. In the descension phase, this law can feel distant. You might feel separate from others, from your purpose, even from yourself. Pain has a way of creating disconnection. It isolates. It convinces you that you are alone in what you're feeling, that no one understands, that you are different in a way that can't be bridged. During this part of the journey, you might carry resentment, judgment, or comparison. You may see others as the cause of your pain. You might feel abandoned by whatever you think of as God, the universe, or spirit. The world can feel divided and harsh, and in many ways, this disconnection is part of what you're here to heal. You begin to learn that your perception of separation is often a mirror of inner conflict, that the people who trigger you most are often reflecting the parts of you that need love, that the distance you feel from others is sometimes rooted in the distance you feel from your own truth. King of
Wow.
Pentacles
Wow. That's cool.
matches the cards perfectly. Knowing your own truth, completing the cycle, can't break out of it till you do, and you need to learn your worth so that you don't take everything personally.
Yeah, for some reason I like connect it to like a relationship thing, and it's like, okay, in order to like get out of it, because there's a lot of like what you're talking about is like oneness, and it's like in order to get out of it, you got to go inward, find your inner truth, and that's the only really way to like break out of those type of cycles is
Yeah,
to understand that. It's kind of cool.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay. Um, so any number besides 13, 88, 101, or 72.
60.
Okay.
All right, give me a second here.
Take your time.
Okay. So what I'm seeing right now is kind of interesting. It's like falling in love with the divine from within, like learning to see from a perspective that you didn't have prior to your awakening, but once you have it, it's like you get to see yourself in a different pace, a different setting. There's a lot of wands energy too, but it's kind of like it's sort of like rebirthing and being like, wow, this is really cool. These ashes, I can reform whatever I want out of these ashes. I get to form my story type of thing. So it's like a phoenix type energy.
Okay. Okay. There's the wands. Ten of wands in reverse, literally putting down the burden and rebirthing. Okay. Yep. Through the divine, falling in love. Okay. Yep. Learning what you didn't before about how it's a journey back to yourself through falling in love with who the divine made you to be. Ten of wands in reverse is the rebirth, rebuilding from the ashes. This is quite literally rebuilding from the ashes.
Yeah.
Okay. Page 60. Top or bottom?
Top.
Um, okay. So it's the law of polarity section. You said top?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. You appreciate contrast because you understand its purpose. It is no longer threatening to your peace, it deepens it. You stop needing things to be perfect or easy in order to feel aligned. You can hold space for joy while still grieving. You can offer love while still holding your boundaries. You live in the tension without needing it to disappear. This is where integration happens. You look to the parts of yourself you used to hide and say you belong to. You stop dividing your identity into acceptable and unacceptable. Instead, you bring all of yourself to the table, your strength, your doubt, your clarity, your confusion. You begin to trust that nothing is wasted, nothing is wrong. It's all part of the whole. Polarity also teaches you discernment. You stop switching from one extreme to the other. You start choosing with awareness. You learn how to hold conflicting truths without losing your center. You understand that peace is not the absence of tension, but the ability to stay rooted through it. In this phase, polarity becomes a gift. It gives you depth, it gives you wisdom, and it gives you the ability to walk through life without needing to control every outcome. You trust the balance, you trust the contrast, and most of all, you trust yourself. You nailed it.
Ah, that's cool.
Falling in love with the divine within, seeing yourself in a new way, polarity, rebirth. Did I write different what? No idea. Rebuild from ashes, phoenix. Yeah, quite literally. Okay.
Well,
All right. Good job. All right. Okay. New number and
27.
new deck. 27 and new deck.
Okay.
One or three.
3.
Three. Lightseer's deck. Okay. Yeah, okay. Pick a number from 1 to 5.
5. We're going big. I already know it's going to be a big couple.
Okay.
Well, I just got tons of stuff. So, like, from the 3D to the 5D, just because we chose those numbers, it was like, there's like this connection. It's like trusting in this connection, but it's more than that. It's like, there's this tunnel of light that's like beaming down on you as like a person, and that tunnel is like your higher self. It's giving you instructions, divine code. Like it's like feeding you information on how to upgrade, how to level up, why you're here. All of the information, purpose is what it's feeding you. And the only thing standing in between you and that purpose is identity. It's like what the world has like put in front of you. And so it's like this battle of like getting out of the world and receiving from the universe something bigger. And it's like this over, it's like a circle inside a circle. The world's this smaller circle and the universe is, and you're like, you have this thing that nobody else has that's like feeding you, like an algorithm that's feeding you your divine purpose. And it's kind of like it is you feeding you. So it's like it's a version of you. It's like not just your future version, but it's your higher self feeding you. That's what I'm seeing.
I feel like that part's
There's a
supposed to be
lot.
on the screen for some reason. No, yeah, I think that was good. That was good. I think this part's supposed to be on the screen, the you feeding you feels significant. Okay. 3D to 5D. So breaking out of the past would be the 3D into the okay, 3D out of the past into the 5D. This makes me think of the Mario Kart where he's like driving on the
Yeah,
the rainbow.
Yep, Rainbow Bridge. You're just like, that's cool.
Three of Swords, learning from the pain of the past, the 3D. Okay, so tunnel of light coming out of the darkness. Like, literally, this is the start, and then you go through the journey. Okay, yep, yep.
What is that last one?
Oh my gosh, hold on, hold on. Tunnel of light, 3D to 5D, higher self versus lower self, and you said it's like your higher self showing you your identity. Look at the 2 hearts, the 3D and the 5D.
Yeah. It's like your purpose over your identity.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. What were you saying? I cut you off.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I was just watching.
27. Top or bottom?
This is saying kind of like in the middle, so it's probably gonna be both. I don't know.
So if there's 4 paragraphs, you're saying the 2 middle paragraphs?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, this battle is what gives rise to your worldview. If the dark wins more often, the world starts to feel like a threat. Even love feels unsafe. Even rest feels dangerous. You might become overly controlling, constantly busy, addicted to certainty. Not because you're flawed, but because the subconscious believes it's protecting you. It doesn't care if you thrive. It cares that you survive. That's its job. But your higher self, there's no but your higher self came for more than survival. It came for embodiment, for alignment, for evolution. And so these 2 parts of you must learn to coexist long enough for truth to emerge. That's the journey. That is the reckoning. Each gate you pass through in the blueprint isn't just an energetic checkpoint, it's an invitation to revisit what's been stored in the buckets. Every time, okay, so this chapter is about the subconscious, and I give the example of the subconscious being buckets that get filled over time. So that's what that bucket part is about. Um, it's usually every time you feel resistance, fear, confusion, or emotional overreaction, it's usually because something inside you is trying to speak. And the voice of the higher self cannot override what you haven't yet made conscious. You can't skip the silence. You have to sit in it. You have to name what's rising. You have to see what you've been carrying and decide if it still belongs. Exactly like you just said.
I got no words for this one.
I don't either.
Wow, that was cool.
Huh. Okay. It's number 3, 27.
I have a. Let's do one more, but this one like I'm feeding. I'm. It's telling me to like say it first and then you pull and do all
Okay,
this.
okay.
I'm seeing like a lion. I'm seeing. So you know like the story. Okay, whatever. I'm seeing the story of Simba. You know, like in the Lion King,
Mhm.
how he's like living life up, just like Akuna Matata type life. Now he's walking, and he's not walking in his path though. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like shunned his higher self. And then there's like look look harder. Rafiki, the moment Rafiki like whacks him in the head, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you learned from the past." And then he's like, he pushes him. The moment it shifts for him is when he sees his truer higher self in the image. He says, "Look harder," and he like pushes the water and with his finger, and it like causes him to see like the reflection of his ancestors in him. It was just his dad, but it's like next you see he lives in you is what I see. So it's like your higher self lives in you. This is very much similar to like that. It's like saying like the version of you that you want to be, it's not external. It's always been in there. You just got to stop ignoring it and look in the reflection and see it.
Okay, I like it. Should we keep the same deck or use the other deck? That was the
Other
deck.
deck.
Okay. How many cards?
4.
That's not supposed to be in there. That's from the biblical tarot. Okay.
Leave it, whatever.
Or including or not including that card? So 4 more or 3 more?
4 more. Turn that one last.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. 8 of Wands in reverse, 3 of Pentacles in reverse, 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Higher self lives in you. It's not external. You can't look for it externally. The work comes from within. 8 of Wands, you can't resist that knowing. You can't break out of the cycle until you realize that what you're running from is yourself. Seven of Chalices, the temptation of Christ. All this I will give you, he said, if you bow down and worship me. Higher self lives in you, not external, sees higher self through the reflection. Lion and Simba, you said he was off of his track. Hakuna Matata, you only live once. Every decision matters, the world, because you have to complete the cycle. Not walking in path. If you're not walking your path, you're going to get tempted. How is it even possible this card ended up in here and that's what you said?
Not only that, it's like
That's not, it's
talking
not
and
even on my desk.
well, and it's talking like Jesus had his path, right? His mission started when he was 30 and he went for a 3-year mission. So the page number is going to be 33, by the way. I'm just connecting the dots as we talk.
Look, this deck is in this box. It was not on my desk. It was over on my other desk.
That's cool.
And interestingly enough, it's out because I did a reading about the book on there. Okay, so 33. Okay.
I think it's the whole page.
Well, do you know why you think it's the whole page? Because it's a picture on the page.
Oh, okay.
That almost perfectly matches the picture on the card.
Dang. Wow.
Okay, so
Confirmation.
next page. Good thing I wrote that rule about going to the next page. Okay, the foundation. Oh, so you picked page 33, and it's 33 is the picture, 34 is the words. That's how you build the foundation, is looking at a picture and figuring out what it means. Interesting.
Well, and Simba, he pushed the water, and that's how he like you got to see your reflection, right? Like that's how he figured out that's his higher self right there. Like
Yeah,
look harder.
yeah. Yeah, you said that. Look harder. Look harder. The roots are there, the light is there, you just have to learn what it means. Look hard. I can't what? Look, literally, I put it in quotes, "Look harder." It's not external. Your higher self lives in you. You described the thing. Anyway, foundation. Chapter you picked page 33. Guess what starts on page 33?
What's that?
Chapter 3.
Three to three.
Knowledge is power. The two cannot be separated. The only way to weaken knowledge is to keep it hidden or bury it under so much confusion and misinformation that people stop trusting their own sense of truth. I believe this book is part of that truth rising again. Even in total darkness, one small light can shift everything. It shows the way forward. And the truth is, you are far more powerful than you have been led to believe. Everything is energy, everything is symbolic. Before everything appears in physical form, it begins in the unseen, in thought, in feeling, in intention. This is how reality works. It starts from within and moves outward. You may have heard the phrase, as above, so below, or as within, so without. What happens in the spiritual realm mirrors what plays out in the physical. I can't believe you picked this page. And what lives in the quiet places inside us often shows up in the world around us. This chapter explores the natural laws that help explain how our experiences how our experiences unfold. These are not theories, they are constant forces that shape life whether we notice them or not. These laws are always at work, always guiding how energy moves through us and around us.
Are we psychic?
I think we
What's going
might
on here?
I think there might be some truth to that.
Dang.
Okay, so the final one is not from the book, but how do I word this? Some of the book's art was inspired by this journal book. So there's 2 different pieces of this book. There's the inside it's a blank book, obviously, because it's a journal, but there's the inside picture cover photo, and then there's the cover art. See what you can get about either one, and should we use the biblical tarot for this one since it wanted to come out?
Yeah.
How
So
many
what am
cards?
I am I reading on it or what am I doing?
Um, whatever you same way that we were doing before with the book, describing the image or describing what you're getting. How many cards?
Three.
Oh no, did it go out?
No.
Am I frozen? Okay.
I'm not. Okay. Okay. So this is like saying, it's talking about falling. And it's like, you don't know it, but eventually you'll learn that you were supposed to fall. It was put there to make you fall. And there's this version of you, or really it's the divine now, saying like, I don't care how hard you fall. I don't care if you fall, like you're meant to fall. What I care about is that when you're down, that if you can look up, then you can get up. And it has to do with like that process, like looking up first and getting up. It's kind of like surrendering. It has to do with a lot with surrendering. Like, and it's kind of like understanding that surrendering is power. To ask for help, it's kind of like saying, a lot of people don't see, like, I surrender. That's a terrible word. Nobody wants to surrender. But no, this is like a divine code opening up because of like it was made that way for you to humble so that you can ask the universe because it unlocks that version of you, the humility. It's all part of it. So I'm talking about like when you're on the deepest down, it's like dark night of the soul and you're coming out of it. This is how you come out of it. It's that shift to ask for help.
Cards first or book first?
Let's go book first.
So that's the cover.
Jeez,
of the
some
book.
art.
It reminds
Okay.
me of the Three of Swords. And then the inside is the world.
Wow.
So you said if you can just keep looking up, so from the Three of Swords, from the pain, and then you said divine code opening up, and it's made that way. Polarity. As above, so below, as within, so without, the polarity. That's why it's what inspired some of the art in the book.
Interesting. Like I see like the three of hearts, and it's like that's like pain, right? It's like going through like heartbreak is what opens. It's like in that moment, it could while you're in your dark night of the soul, that could make you a hardened heart. But instead, it's like if you open up, if you surrender in that moment, that's how you unlock your higher self. It's like how you start to receive that code. You don't hurt people. Instead, you're now healing people that heal people.
Yep.
Interesting.
Which one first? Middle, left, or right?
Let's go left to right.
Temperance, Mary and Martha. Six of Candles, the fall of Jericho. When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in and they took the city. Ace of Feathers, Saul's conversion. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Yeah, literally, just like you said, the dark night of the soul is a shift to break down the walls to bring you back to balance, a divine code opening up. The pain is meant to break down the walls so that you can see the things from different perspectives. And then temperance. There's even the
Well,
angel there.
can I add something?
Yes, of course.
So Jericho, the Wall of Jericho is a really cool story, and it's kind of like dead center. It's like the heart of the cards and of the story, and we're talking about like broken heart. And I was talking about like humility, right? And the story of the walls of Jericho is they were cocky. They were like talking shit to him and saying like, "You can't get up here. You can't destroy this place." And so what God told the army to do was walk around the entire encampment. And as they did that, they were like, "What am I doing? We look stupid." And the people would follow, right? On the walls, they would follow the army. And the Lord kept telling them, like, just keep doing it, just keep walking. They kept doing it like 7, 8 times. They just kept walking. Well, what they didn't know, he was just being humble. He was just following. He was like, okay, I surrender. I'm just gonna trust in what God's telling me to do. Well, the army, as they were walking on the walls, they had built it. Everything was really strong at the core of the base, but at the top it was the weakest. And as they were walking, they were causing this congestion that caused the wall to fall down, and so the army could come through and blow through. And it's kind of like just trusting that the universe knows, like source, God, it knows what you're facing. And the one thing that's going to bring down that wall is the humility to listen, to follow that guidance. So,
Yeah, absolutely. That was really good. Yeah. One
and the
final
story of
page to go with what
Martha.
you just said. Tell
Oh,
that one.
the story of Martha. Yeah, that one's like, it's kind of like, I believe this is the story of Martha, but I believe it's when it's Mary and Martha, right?
Correct.
It's when Martha was like trying to prepare food for Jesus, and Mary was like there, and Mary was paying attention to Jesus. He was preaching and he was like talking, and she was like wanting to like wash his feet and do all these nice things for him, just like listen to. She's at his feet, and Martha was like kind of getting snappy about it, like, we've got all these other 12 apostles that are coming in. We need to cook and clean. And he was like, just stop and pay attention to me. It's kind of like these signals from the universe. It's like your intuition, like just stop, pay attention to me, because there's a bigger lesson here. There, you have all this life constantly going, and it might not make sense. I might make you walk around a wall 10 times over. I might have you sit at my feet, to listen to this random lesson, or go talk to a bum that you've never talked to, and learn his name and take him in and get him some food. Whatever it is, your intuition is trying to talk to give you a message, a divine message. Something from the divine is on the other side of that humility. But it takes both of those cards are like talking about humility. And then you look at the third card and you can see like he's getting hit by light. It's like it happens. It will come. And it always comes, the miracle always comes after you pass that test. And humility is what's going to get you there.
Yeah. Yeah. What pick a page number to go with everything you just said. Final page number.
Between 13 and
Yeah, between 13 and 213.
53.
Oh, because we did 60. Okay. Top or bottom?
Bottom.
How the law of oneness shows up in the descension process. In the descension phase, the law of oneness often feels far away. You may feel deeply disconnected from others, from yourself, from any sense of purpose. Loneliness can creep in. It may feel like no one understands you or that you're separate from the world around you. This is where you also might experience projection. You see parts of yourselves in others that you haven't accepted yet. What annoys you, what hurts you, what you judge. It's all pointing you inward. These moments are mirrors, but they don't feel like that at first. They feel like proof that something is wrong with the world or wrong with you. You may try to isolate. You may feel rejected or invisible. You may struggle to see the point in connection when you're overwhelmed by your own healing. But this phase is where the work begins. You are being invited to remember, to find the thread, to realize that the distance you feel is not truth. It's a temporary forgetting. The more you learn to see others as reflections, the more you reclaim your power. The pain starts to feel less personal, as
Can
you
you do
just
me
said.
a favor? Can you go to page 35 as well?
Yeah, 35.
Top this time.
Top. The law of attraction, creating from the inside out. The law of attraction teaches you that what you focus on, you invite in. Your thoughts and emotions are not just personal, they are energetic signals that shape your reality. Whatever you consistently think about or feel becomes a magnet. It draws people, experiences, and opportunities that match that energy. When your thoughts are grounded in gratitude, hope, and love, your energy rises. You begin to align with the frequency of what you truly want. Life starts to reflect that back to you. But when fear, doubt, or resentment take up most of your attention, they create a lower frequency. That energy draws in more struggle, more confusion, more of what you don't want. This law is always working whether you believe in it or not. It reflects your inner state outward. Your emotions are energy in motion. When they're stuck, like in depression or grief, it can feel like life is frozen too. That stuckness is a sign. It's asking you to shift your focus, move your energy, and reconnect to what uplifts you.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. I can see it now, like the gratitude, the humility of what it's kind of like what that was talking about with like the wall, the wall's sitting up there, and it's like you could look at it as like, oh, this looks like impossible. But if you just humble yourself, if you just kind of live in that sense of like gratitude, eventually that wall in front of you will come down, no matter what it looks like, no matter what you're facing in life. Like gratitude, humility, and and attraction. You attract it to you. If that's what you want, eventually you're going to find a way around that wall.
Right? Yeah. It reminds
And
me of
also
that
with
song, the one that you introduced me to, that A Lot More Free song.
yeah.
It's is it crazy that I'm grateful for all the pain? That's that 3 cards.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. And Martha, the story with Martha too. It's like if she that's the difference between Martha and Mary right there was gratitude, is what Jesus was trying to teach her. Like, hey, be in a humble and in a grateful area, because there's a whole message right here that you're both listening, but you're focused over here and you're missing it because of your perspective. It shifts your perspective, and you'll see something that you wouldn't see elsewhere or otherwise.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That was so good. Thank you for doing that.
yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. We'll see you all in the next one. If you want to order the blueprint, it is out on Amazon in paperback, hardback, and also Kindle. Talk to you all soon.